On this episode, we build an all-new EPCOT Summer Food Festival. Today is January 23rd, 2024, and this is episode 635 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. You can also find us now on TikTok at MSM Podcast. If you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. And if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, you get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. If you're planning a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World, you did not get the advanced dining reservations that you wanted so badly at your 60 days out, don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. So this is going to be a fun one today, I hope.
I hope so, too.
So we just got announcements about Flower and Garden Festival and the dates, which is going to run February 28th through May 27th this year.
Okay.
If you want to book for Flower and Garden, it is a wonderful festival. You can head to mainstmagictravel.com, fill out a form for a free quote. Chuck or Amy will get back to you, get you all booked for Flower and Garden. But what's super interesting about this is that it ends well over a month earlier than it traditionally has in the past several years.
Really?
So last year, for example, it ran March 1st all the way through July 5th, with Food and Wine last year kicking off July 27th and running through November 18th. Now, we don't have dates for Food and Wine yet, of course.
Right.
But it got us thinking, why would they end this a month earlier?
Yeah.
Are they looking for a little bit longer of Diet Epcot? You know, last year it had 22 days, so about 3 weeks in between.
Okay.
What happens if they delay the opening of Food and Wine? Are they looking at just now taking off summer for festivals the way it used to be? Or what if something else was in the works, like a fifth festival?
Ooh.
So we decided we would create a fifth festival just for fun. Okay. One I actually think would be cool, this is not the route we went, would be a Frozen Summer Festival.
Okay, and what do you mean in that aspect?
It would all be, I mean, I'm almost thinking of the way that they do Winter Summerland, the golf course, the mini, the putt-putt course.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be, obviously Frozen. It takes place in the snow. You're thinking the cold months in winter,
mm-hmm.
but think about Olaf and In Summer.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole song and all. So I think it would be neat. Everything would be geared very much towards summer dishes. Like you'd have lots of it'd probably be very dessert heavy with, ice creams and cold desserts. But you could even have, like it could be very heavy driven by just say things like salads and,
mm-hmm.
like fresh, summery, like fruits and all that type of stuff. But we're going to go a different route.
Okay.
We're going to create, and we're going to say this is going to run, just say May 31st, since the Flower and Garden ends May 27th. So this would kick off right there the weekend following Memorial Day weekend. And it's going to go through July 31st. And we're going to push back Food and Wine.
Okay.
What are we going to call our festival, Rhonda?
A Taste of Disney.
Okay, so let's start running through. We're going to do a Taste of Disney. You're going to see why in a minute. We got all good festivals have a mascot, right? We've got Figment for Festival of the Arts. We've got Spike the Bee for Flower and Garden.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Remy and Emil for the other one, Food and Wine. And you do have Olaf for International Festival of the Holidays.
Mm-hmm.
What would be our mascot for A Taste of Disney and why? Because you came up with this. It was a great idea.
I said Stitch.
Yeah.
And then Jeremy was kind of like, why? Because he was thinking he doesn't really have much to do with it. But they have announced and are now doing on Shop Disney, Stitch crashes snacks. And so for the next 12 months, we already got our first one where he's having a Mickey pretzel.
Mm-hmm.
So for the next 11 months, we are going to be getting a plush Stitch with a snack. So A Taste of Disney, I was like, you could almost have it like that,
Yeah.
where I know there's more than 12 booths or more than 12 figments, more than 12 spikes, more than 12 Olafs. But
Throughout the scavenger hunt you're talking about.
Yes,
Yeah.
sorry.
Sometimes you have to put extra information
I apologize.
into it. I know what you mean when you exclude information, but I don't know that everybody else does.
Some people do.
Some people do.
People speak Rhonda.
People yeah.
According to
Rhonda Ease, I guess maybe it would be, is definitely a language. And if you've known Rhonda for quite some time or you spend a lot of time with her, you will figure it out and you're able to. Rhonda's like a fine Swiss cheese. There's lots of holes, right? There's lots of holes in your stories where you have to know where to plug in the extra cheese. And I know after being together for 20 years. And there's a few other people that know.
Yes,
but
there are.
anyway, but you actually, aside from the Stitch crashes snacks, and we're referring to the scavenger hunt, there could still only be 12 throughout. They don't necessarily have to be at the booths. You know what I mean?
Right.
'Cause I think we end up with 17 booths with the idea that we have.
Okay.
So they still could be out. They could be within the World Showcase pavilions. They could be within the port of entry shops, things like that. And then that would actually get you up to the 12. And it could be smaller statuettes of this entire Stitch Crashes series. Yeah. The way that they do Olaf at International Festival, the holidays. So,
and which snack would he have?
Right. And but there's ones there's ones you could look at lining up. And we didn't go through this whole thing, but I know, for example, maybe you would change them a little. All right. I could see the one with him holding the pretzel in Germany. So maybe that's what you look at doing, and you do them more like the figment paintings during the scavenger hunt, where they're within the showcase pavilion buildings, as opposed to Olaf that tends to be on or around the actual booth. So there's your scavenger hunt, right? Then we're going to go to entertainment. We're getting a taste of Disney, right?
Right.
American Gardens Theater. And we were thinking this would probably be more like Festival of Arts in the Broadway series, where this might only be Fridays and Saturday evenings.
Okay.
Right? What types of entertainment would we look at bringing in? And again, it's not like we fleshed out an entire schedule. Unless, Josh, you would like us to, then give me a call. What type of entertainment were we thinking to give people a taste of Disney?
Well, basically our live shows across property, which would at Animal Kingdom would be Nemo, and then Festival of the Lion King. At Hollywood Studios, you would have Beauty and the Beast. At Disney Springs, you would have Cirque, which I think that would be real cool.
Drawn to life. I mean, even if, and the thought is, like, if you brought one scene from each of these, and obviously something like Nemo and Festival of the Lion King, you can't bring to that scale. But do it where you're bringing the talent and they're singing songs from those. Same thing with Cirque. You could look at what could you pull from Drawn to Life
so cool.
if it was just one kind of scene or series that they could put on.
Excuse me. That to me would be where you definitely need some dining packages, because people would be definitely going, I want to see that.
And I think
because it's expensive.
And I think you definitely want to do the dining packages for all of these, because they do it for the Broadway series, which isn't quite as popular. You could even bring in some of the artists from Disney Springs that play regularly, like at Dockside, Margaritas. They have regular artists that are there. I cannot remember. Lucy's texting me literally right now as she listens and telling me the name of their favorite artist that plays there all the time.
And they're really good. Yeah. I mean, so
you could also bring in, we've got 8 weekends of this basically.
Right.
You could bring in some of the different orchestras and bands from like high schools and colleges that play on the main stage across from World at Disney, and they could have an evening there. Like just an entertainment value, but it's giving you that taste of Disney throughout. So there's going to have to be merchandise and there's going to have to be food. And here's our thought with those. If we're getting a taste of Disney, imagine going to EPCOT and getting merchandise and tastes from all over property, which means that our festival merchandise booths and merchandise areas are going to include resort gear from all of the resorts across property.
Okay.
So that you could...
I mean, they already kind of do. Like,
well, you do
at
the individual resorts, right? But you have to go to them. Like,
correct. But I'm just saying, like, they already do. So if they just have
that's how easy it is to bring.
Yeah.
And of course, you would have some resort-specific, or not resort, some festival-specific gear about a taste of Disney. And, maybe
With
you do...
Stitch.
Well, but I could see. You remember the was it the 50th? Yeah, remember the 50th refillable mugs that had like the Skyliner on it, and it had the Contemporary with the monorail, and you could make total festival gear out of that. That's giving you a taste of all the Disney resorts, all the parks. But then imagine where you could go somewhere and go, to one area and say, man, I would love to pick up a Coronado Springs shirt without staying there or having to go over there. I'd love to pick up one from Scat Cat Club, like the mug that I have and the shirt that I have. So that would be
the mug that you have.
The cup. Not the mug, the tumbler that you got me. What?
No, I thought I got it.
That's what I just said. You got it. No, you got it for me.
I got it for you?
Yes, you did. We were sitting there. That was when we were with,
okay.
Yeah, like Chuck and Amy were sitting there, and I mentioned it, and Steve was bartending there at the time, and you ran off, and you came back with it for me. And then I got the shirt. But, yeah,
okay.
but anyway, you could get stuff from all over the place. But here's where it gets really good. What did we decide to do as far as the food booths, the food kitchens? What is going to be represented to give people the ultimate taste of Disney?
All the signature and fine dining restaurants.
Yeah. And so there are 25 total, technically, on Disney's website. What we decided to exclude were Victoria and Albert's. Although we could easily put that in here, but just we excluded Victoria and Albert's because we really want a taste of Disney where people have it and go, I want to go to this restaurant now.
Right.
And V&A's is tough to pay for.
Yeah.
And then we excluded things that were not specific to Disney resorts, as far as we took anything out of Il Molino and Blue Zoo, Todd English's Blue Zoo from Swan and Dolphin we took out. I'm trying to think what else is here. Kappa was on here from the Four Seasons. So there's a couple of those that we decided to exclude.
Okay.
So we're including all of the Disney resort and park fine and signature dining. So what we decided to do is Rhonda and I sat down for quite some time, and we went through every menu.
It started last night.
Yes, it did.
And finished today.
Took us about another hour this morning. So we went through every menu of these signature and fine dining establishments, and we, for the most part, selected what represented them the best. So we went with usually an appetizer, an entree, a dessert, and then we even went into beverages. Now, we did our best to include some non-alcoholic beverages, but we mostly only included them if they were specific to that restaurant. Otherwise, you would just have soda and the Minute Maid lemonade, at every single booth. So, and then we went and we looked at selecting a cocktail that is more specific to that restaurant. We looked at wines, beers, things like that, and we tried to pair things very well. We also did our best to not just say, all right, here's 8 different steaks, because we've got places like STK and Yachtsman and Topolino's and Le Cellier. So we did our best to still have that representation.
Correct.
Are you ready to get into this? Because this is 17 booths.
Oh my goodness.
I think it's a genius idea.
I do too.
I really do. I absolutely love it.
Maybe Disney will listen.
We'll see. Let's start with Jaleo.
Okay.
And we are going to start with their appetizer. This is actually, Toledo is not a fine or signature dining, but this is one of our favorite appetizers at Toledo over at Coronado. It is also one of our favorites at Three Bridges. We have not had it at Jaleo, but it is the pan con tomate, which is toasted slices of crispy bread brushed with fresh tomato.
Yes. And wherever else we have had it, it has been fantastic.
Kronos Club?
Yes. So
has it at times?
I can only imagine that this is
how
fantastic.
they're doing it here. From there, one of the most famous dishes at Jaleo is their paella.
Which we have had.
We have had. They have several different ones. They ask you to allow at least 45 minutes for them to prepare it for you. It is quite expensive, but it will feed a good 4 people. We had it with Chuck and Allie that time, and it fed the 4 of us very well. And so we selected their arroz con pollo, which is a paella of chicken, vegetables, and mushrooms. So
it was very good when we had it.
And we didn't put prices on these, but, look at our normal festival. This would probably be on a higher end. But this is one where I know it is a labor of love, and it has taken 45 minutes to make this giant
It's $140. Literally, if you go to Jaleo and order this.
But think about that. You're talking $140 is what, $35 a person? At a fine signature dining, a $35 entree is actually on the lower side. So
But what if it's just like you and me? That's expensive.
we're bringing home some leftovers, and we're
I
still
hope
getting our
so.
we're still getting our money's worth.
Okay.
But they could be making this right there in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It could even be one like the way they did Craftsman's Courtyard.
Where they start.
Yeah, which they're making it basically in front of you. It's not inside the booth, but it's almost right there over that open kind of. It'd be almost like it wouldn't be a wok. It's a paella specific
Right.
pan, but they're almost making it right in front of you, and they're making large batches where they just have to come. They can take a scoop, they can put it in your serving dish and give it to you. And even if you were paying $12 for a serving size of this, or a sampling size of this, I think it would be very well worth it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We're going to move on to dessert. We are at Jaleo. We're going to go with their arroz con leche, which is rice, espuma, a lemon syrup, and crispy rice. We've not had this here.
I just heard to say, did we? It sounded familiar.
No, we've not had this
Okay.
here. I honestly don't know that I've ever had a rice dessert. Like I know this is like it'd be like a rice pudding, and I don't think I've had rice pudding because the texture. Did we?
When they gave it to us, was that?
Oh no, that was flan.
Okay.
Yeah,
I swear, I feel like we have.
I agree with you, but I and maybe
But
it
now I
was
don't
maybe it was one of the festival booths in Mexico, but the one you're thinking of where they gave us the dessert because I'm gonna be nice to cast members hat.
They've done that a couple of times.
Yes, it has happened a couple times. That's why I wear the hat.
I feel like. Anyway,
Maybe it was there, but I think that would be interesting.
Yeah.
They do have, so for our wine, and this is what Allie got, is they have a sangria, a house-made sangria.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
She
that is
loved
perfect. Yeah,
it.
absolutely loved it.
You can get
Over there, you can get a half pitcher and a whole pitcher. The
she
half
got a
pitcher
half,
looks
and it
like a
was
whole pitcher.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was huge.
But she did her job.
She
She did her due diligence, and she made sure to have it all.
Uh-huh.
They have an Estrella Dram Lager from Spain. I actually believe I have had this. It was either in Kronos Club or going back to when Three Bridges first opened.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure this is the one that Carol recommended when I was asking her for a beer recommendation.
Nice.
And then there is the cocktail of an Inside Out.
Which sounds super cool.
Yeah.
Because I think of the movie Inside Out.
Oh, yeah. This is Spanish sweet vermouth, Penendez brandy, bourbon, and bitters.
That would not be for me,
It
though.
would not be for you, but we definitely have some beverages on here for you.
Yay.
All right, where are we moving on to next, and what is our food menu looking at our next food booth?
We are going to go to Tiffin's, and we are going to get a lobster mac and cheese. This is cheddar, sherry, and orchetti pasta.
And we've had this because I believe you can still get this at Nomad Lounge, because you remember there was a time we didn't ask last time we were there. You remember they had basically the appetizers is what you could get from Tiffin's, even though they weren't on the Nomad menu, and we've had this.
Yeah,
it is very very good.
So good.
This is one of those. It is super flavorful of lobster. You're not going to find giant chunks of lobster in it, but it's it has a lot of the flavor of it. We have had it more than once, because remember, this was our go-to with the kids because they loved sitting out on that couch and doing the little coloring books and
I feel like they may have switched it up, but back
maybe. But it's delicious
chunks.
Regardless of chunks or not.
Oh yeah,
this is super good.
very good.
What were we thinking? Which is a great taste of Tiffin's for the entree portion.
And we've had this, correct?
We've not had this at Tiffin's. We've only actually sat down and ate at Tiffin's once. Now we've had this at Sanaa.
Okay, this is the butter chicken we're talking about.
Yeah.
And this is a chickpea rice croquette, English peas, young squash, and pickled onion.
Yeah.
Sounds really good. Kaylin loves buttered chicken. We have gotten it plenty of other places. We just haven't had it here yet, but I'm sure it would be fantastic.
But it's such that perfect representation of Tiffin's
100%.
and African cuisine and culture and all,
And
which
it
is why
would
we
be
selected
small, where if you're like, I want to try buttered chicken, but I've never had it,
Yeah.
and it looks weird, because I think of buttered chicken and I literally think of like almost like a rotisserie chicken without and just butter, like buttery, not. And this is almost like a, depending on the sometimes sauce, like a pinkish reddish sauce.
Yeah, it's got that. Yeah, it's
You know what I mean?
like
It's not butter. It doesn't look like butter.
No, it gears a little bit towards, I'd say, orange in color. But yeah, this is one of our favorite dishes anywhere, and I just think it represents real well.
Yeah.
And then of course, and that's the whole point of this. Like Rhonda just said, if you've never had butter chicken and you're like, well, I don't know if I would like it or
Mhm.
not, you can get a small portion. And then you can make
Absolutely.
the decision, do I want to go drop a lot of money at a place like Tiffin's?
Absolutely.
So that's our whole point of the festival, and
Mhm.
our whole point, Josh, of promoting your fine dining and signature restaurants, because that's what this is going to do for you.
Correct.
Right? It's going to
Correct.
promote them.
Right.
So what are we going with for dessert?
The Lion King. This is an actual caramel mousse chocolate brownie and a strawberry mango sauce.
Sign me up.
I
That
know.
sounds
That
delicious.
sounds really good. I love a mousse.
Yeah. We really need to get
Um,
back to Tiffin's. We've only
mhm.
dined there once. It's been several years.
Mhm.
And we didn't love it only because I just don't think we ordered the right things for Tiffin's.
Correct.
You know, like we kind of went, we should have said, all right, what do you recommend, waiter, waitress? Like, what do you recommend? What is Tiffin's known for?
Right.
And that's what we're going to get. Instead, we played it a little bit safe. I know, like, you did the shrimp and grits, which was a special at the time,
Mhm.
and it was good, but it wasn't like, this is my flavors that I expected from
Right.
African style cuisine. We do have a non-alcoholic beverage at
Mhm.
this booth, the hibiscus henna, which is watermelon, hibiscus, soda water, and lime juice.
And that sounds so good. And, things like this, I feel like some of our non-alcoholic ones that we have, I feel like they should also have like a tap, like when you go to, what's it called?
Like a soda tap? You thinking of baseline?
I'm thinking of Toy Story Land. There's a little umbrella.
Yeah, right
And
as you're going
they
into
have
Slinky
Grey
Dog
Goose.
Dash, and they've got Grey Goose premix
Mhm,
cocktail on
mhm.
draft.
Yes.
I like that idea.
Instead of Grey Goose premix cocktail, just Grey Goose.
Yeah.
And then having where I could add some if I wanted to of
Yeah.
that. Because that
It
sounds
sounds
amazing.
amazing.
Refreshing. Which then leads
Can we
us
get
to our...
can we get hibiscus? We've ordered hibiscus syrup before, but
Yeah, we
because we
have.
couldn't find it at Publix, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if they carry it now, because that sounds like a tasty beverage for later. To get those together, a little soda water, get some fresh watermelon. That sounds good. Like making that and adding a little bit of
Okay.
our Grey Goose, because we only drink the finest of vodkas.
Mhm.
It's not Kirkland brand at all. We don't get it from
But we
Costco
could get
for
the
$13.49.
Kirkland brand
That's similar to Grey
that
Goose.
is the Grey Goose.
Yeah, we could.
Anyways.
But speaking, so that's for the
just-
kiddos or the people that do not drink alcohol. For the ones that do and the adults, we're going to go with Gin's Tattoo, which is one of the signature cocktails
Mhm.
from Nomad Lounge, as well as over here at Tiffin's. Jen is one of the Imagineers that worked on Animal Kingdom alongside Joe Rohde, and that's where this comes from. It is Kettle One vodka. So basically, it's the same thing without the soda water, watermelon, hibiscus, and lime juice.
Oh,
So-
yeah. There you go.
But see, I'm okay with a little bubbly. Like, I know you don't like the carbonation,
It
so I
depends.
wouldn't mind a little soda water in there.
I like it for like one drink.
Yeah.
And then
Agreed.
move on.
All right. Then here we are going to have a beer flight.
Mm-hmm.
This includes First Magnitude, a Wakula Hefeweizen. This includes a USA Kungaloosh Spiced Excursion Ale and a USA Lagintas IPA.
Nice.
And then finally, to pair with these dishes, especially that butter chicken, that lobster mac and cheese, is a Graham Beck Brut Rosé from South Africa.
Mm.
All right. Let's move on to our next booth. We are headed to Disney Springs, one of our favorite spots, the Boathouse.
Woo.
And we have quite a menu for you here, okay?
Uh-huh.
We are going to go a little bit seafood,
Mhm.
but there is a signature dish on here, especially if you go for lunch. But what is the first one we're going to do that they do there? It's on their raw bar. It is not on their main menu,
Okay.
but you can ask for it prepared this way for an upcharge.
Of $1
$1 each
extra
oyster.
correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
what are we talking about?
Oysters Rockefeller.
Yeah, so if you get, I want to say a half dozen raw oysters are about $18.
I don't remember. Sometimes it's market price.
Yeah, and you can select the oyster that you want because they're coming in
That's
fresh
true.
from all over
That's
the
true.
country, basically. So I want to say normally it's about $18 for a half dozen oysters, roughly, and then you would add another $6 if you were doing a half dozen to make them oysters Rockefeller.
Mm-hmm.
And
They're fantastic.
and we've seen them do oysters Rockefeller, at
Oh.
in America.
Yeah.
And we've seen them do it over in Coastal Eats
Mhm.
over by Creation Shop now on your way to
Mhm.
Test Track in the bathrooms there. And you watch them pull these oysters out of ice. You watch them shuck them. You watch them
Mhm.
put the topping on and then put them on an open flamed grill.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking let's go with the same route.
Okay.
So next on here, I want to get to Boathouse, and I want to get this because I've heard nothing but incredible things about it. And you're going to get, this comes with 2 if you're at Boathouse, but we're only going to get 1 for our little festival sampling. What is it?
It is a filet mignon slider.
Yeah.
It is maitre d' butter served with French cut fries.
Fresh cut fries. But technically they would be fresh French cut fries, I guess. Yeah. I mean, just give me a piece of, I mean, they're already doing steak amazing over there if you get an entire steak entree. So a little filet mignon slider.
Yeah, I bet that would be really good.
Yeah. And then this is one that we've had, and this is going to be another appetizer, but you get a little sampling of it. And what is that? We had this, and it might be one of my favorite ever. Your
hoisin chili calamari. Yeah, this was really good. I remember. So there's red bell peppers, jalapeno, green onions, and sesame seeds. And all of this is a nice tempura.
Yeah. Yeah, all these are battered and fried along with it.
Right. Because the funniest part was we were with Tina and Rob, and literally Tina picked up. I think she thought it was a green bell pepper.
Yeah.
But it was the jalapeno. And she ate it. And she doesn't like spicy jalapenos like that.
It was spicy.
And
it was super spicy.
Hysterical to kind of watch her like,
yeah,
okay, this is hot.
And calamari is one of those dishes like duck. If I see duck on a menu, I'm getting it. If Rana sees shrimp and grits, she's getting it. If we see calamari, we're most likely ordering it for our appetizer.
This one's really good.
I really do think it's one of the best we've had on property. And it's because of the addition of those bell peppers, the jalapeno, the green onions, everything fried. And then that hoisin chili sauce is just, it's such a great, I love it with a good marinara everywhere else. But here, it's just so fitting.
Yeah.
Then finally, we're going to move on to dessert, which is a caramel apple bread pudding. It is a butter pecan caramel sauce vanilla ice cream. Now, here's the interesting thing. I don't know that we have, but here's the interesting thing because their signature dessert, but I looked on the menu and it's not listed. This is where DisneyFood.guide, when this comes out, is going to be key. I will no longer go to Disney's website for notes for these menus. I will go to DisneyFood.guide. Because they're going to have the most accurate menus. But what was missing from the online Disney menu was the Baked Alaska, which is normally...
Oh, yeah. We've seen that there. It's freaking huge.
It's like a foot tall. And I don't know. You'd probably have to do something like... It'd probably have to be more like a Baked Alaska tart or something, like a small individual portion as opposed to making the whole thing and trying to figure out how to give someone a smaller serving for a festival portion. But... that was not on there, which is why we did not select it. We are going to go for a beer. It is the Dockside Haze. It is a hazy IPA from Florida Avenue Brewing Company. This is a 7%. Then, because we were going with these filet sliders, we thought a red wine was going to pair best. So what did we select for our red wine?
Scattered Peaks Cabernet Sauvignon from Napa Valley. And then, of course...
Do you miss wine? Because we haven't had wine in a very long time.
Yeah, sometimes.
I don't miss it as like, hey, we're gonna open a bottle and have a couple glasses. I miss it as in, I'm sitting at the boathouse eating a slider and I want a good glass of wine to go with it.
I mean,
or I'm having a piece of seafood
night,
and I want a good
example,
white.
When we had the steak sandwiches, they were so good, and the blue cheese. A Cabernet Sauvignon would have been fantastic. It would have been with that.
Yeah. But then that's it. Like afterwards, you're not like, I want another glass of cab. You're like, I just want it with this meal.
Yeah, but at the same time, like
fire.
I still think of like the sugars and all the like stuff, and so that's where I kind of, I guess, don't miss it.
So last night, we do a monthly segment for Wonderland Crew, which is our Patreon group, called Anyone Can Cook, and we do a live stream remaking Disney dishes. And we remade the marinated skirt steak sandwich with the blue cheese fondue from Craftsman's Courtyard here at Festival of the Arts. And I got to say, I think it's the best recreation of any Disney dish we've done.
It was incredible.
And we don't, to make it fun, what we try to do is we try to make it accessible to just somebody at home. So we try not to pick things with a million ingredients and where everything's made from scratch and this and that.
Right.
It was very simple this was last night. And it was so good. And we don't use menus or recipes. I mean, we just kind of try and figure it out and make it. And this was so good.
And it was neat because the blue cheese fondue Jeremy always watches like the kitchen or something, and it was on, and she was actually, that was all about sauces that day. And she was actually making a blue cheese fondue sauce.
Yeah.
So she did half and half. So
yeah, I just thought like milk.
Yeah.
You could use heavy cream. I mean, it was
we had
delicious.
heavy cream and we had milk. We did not have half and half, but he did go get that for that.
It was so
But
good.
I mean, most of the things that, you know, we use is things that people probably would have.
Yeah, a lot of times have on hand. Anyway, our signature cocktail for the Boathouse here is disgusting, in my opinion. I do not care for this drink at all, but
It's
this
fine.
is ones that people love, and it's what they're known for. And what is that?
That is your Duck Duck Raz. It is Stoli raspberry, peach schnapps, blue caraco, lemon juice, and simple syrup.
And you get a little
you
tiny
you
rubber
do.
ducky in it.
Yep. And
So-
it's super cute. And I've had it before. And it's not, I don't think it's disgusting. It sounds better when you read Stoli raspberry, peach schnapps, blue caraco.
Yeah.
It sounds like it would taste better than it actually does, if that makes any sense.
No, it does. And
It's pretty.
It's pretty,
blue.
but for me, it tasted like kerosene, and it looks like the toilet water when you put the little blue tab in the back of the tank, and it turns all your water blue. It's the
Yeah.
exact color of it.
yeah,
So
that's true.
I did not care for it, but I know people absolutely do love this
Yeah.
beverage, and it's what the Boathouse is
Yeah.
known for, so we had to do it. All right, next we are going to move on to California Grill, which is interesting because this is one of the locations that has a prefix meal. So we had to go through their prefix selections and find what we thought would best represent California Grill. What are we going to start with? And we have
but I
had
started to say,
this.
how fun is this? Because, like, it is a prefixed meal, and it's something that, you know, we need to get back there, but
Yeah.
it's expensive, and it's like, well, and with all that being said, you have a couple of tastes over here, and you're like, dude, when can I book
Yeah.
that?
And-
Mouse dining.
And what would
Send
be
an
neat?
alert.
So we've got a appetizer, we have a main entree, and then we have a dessert. And let's just say these were priced at whatever each.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be neat if during this festival they said you can get all three, and it takes a little bit off the price. You know what I mean? Like, let's just say our app was going to run you $8. We have a $10 entree, and we've got a $7 dessert. So what did I say? 17. That'd be what, $25. But you could say I want all three, and it's $20. You know what I mean? Like, and they serve
Disney
to you.
ain't gonna do
all,
that.
no, they're not going to. But and they serve it
In
all
fact,
together.
they'd probably be like, you can get all three for $30.
Yeah, probably. And you wouldn't know any better. You'd be like, math? What's that? What is our appetizer? And we have
And
had this there
I just
before.
heard say, like Jeremy said, we've had this before. It is your Sonoma goat cheese ravioli. This is basil saffron pasta, tomato broth, mushroom ragu, and fennel. And it is fantastic.
It's so good.
The goat cheese is outstanding. And the basil saffron pasta, I mean, it just,
And these
all
are big.
these flavors together, they are.
Yeah. So
There
this
are
might
only
be
a couple of them, right?
Yeah, I think there's like two, but they're very
They're very-
large. But so this could be one where instead they only give you one of those,
Mhm.
or they make smaller versions of it.
It reminds me of the deconstructed, how big it is.
Yeah, the deconstructed French onion soup that
soup.
is no longer there. How dare you?
Mhm.
How dare you, Disney?
Anyway, so moving on to the main course. We did pick the fire roasted venison. We have not had, but it is butternut squash gnocchi, which sounds amazing to me.
Yeah, it does.
Parsnip almond puree, which again we found we love that. Roasted onions, glazed apples, chantilly mushrooms, and a venison au jus.
Yeah. So we didn't go the route of steak because that's going to come later,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't go the route of the loin.
And-
I really love there. It's actually one of my favorite pieces of meat on property. And as Rhonda was saying earlier, how often do you get the opportunity to taste venison without having to get an entire venison steak?
And a lot of times people will turn their nose up at it.
Yes.
Because they know what it is,
Yep.
and they're like, I don't want to eat that. But then you're like, ooh, but I can try it.
I know you've had venison because we had
Yeah.
it ground one time, but have
Yeah.
you had it prior to that? Have you ever had like venison steak?
I don't remember. And if I did, nobody told me.
So back when I was a young boy,
Oh.
in my teens, one of my first major jobs that I actually worked at for a while was Smoky Glen Farms up in Maryland.
Okay.
This place was incredible, first of all. It
Is this
was
the guy that called you Jerry?
no, that was at Tom and Ray's.
Okay.
Yeah. And no, this was like maybe my second or third like real job. Teenager. I was probably actually driving by then. I think I used to drive myself. And it was mostly like weekends, and it would just say you're having a company retreat or you're doing a family reunion. Like you would come here, and it was this giant farm. They had pavilions, and they cooked all your food and everything. And it was cool. They had they took oil drums and cut them in half, and they had grates on top, and they filled them with charcoal. And they would grill whole like half chickens on there and beef and just all this good stuff. Well, for I believe it was Thanksgiving the weekend before, they invited all of the employees and their families out to have a meal on Smoky Glen Farms. And one of the things that they would have the chicken, they would have steak. I believe they used to do maybe shrimp or something. They also had bison and they did venison.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the first time I ever had venison. I'm not a big fan of venison, just the flavor. It's
Okay.
one of those that gets a little gamey for me. But I'd love to try it again, and I would love to try it prepared by a chef at California Grill.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So like, but I'm not going to go sit down at California Grill, drop a prefix per person price, and order the venison. But boy, would I love to have a taste of it for
absolutely.
$10, $12 or whatever. What are we doing for dessert?
It is a peanut and banana tart. This is a shortbread, peanut ganache, miso caramel, nut crumble, caramelized bananas, and this is plant-based.
Sounds so
that
good.
sounds amazing.
When are you going to
Absolutely.
California Grill?
I don't know, but
You know when we're going to go to California Grill?
when?
After we
are?
drop our annual passes to Universal.
Oh.
Because you said
Yes.
we could be using that money for better things, which would include Disney and more research and doing things at Disney. So I'll look at making one after maybe April, one of the times that we're there. Maybe that's our anniversary meal this year is at California Grill.
Okay.
See what we can make happen.
Okay.
All right, we got our non-alcoholic beverage. We had to go with the Mad Hatter's Tea Party.
Yes.
This is a velvety combination of bright and flowery Ceylon with passion fruit, pomegranate, and vanilla. Sounds delightful.
It sounds
think it sounds so
very
good.
delightful.
Because we're going with that venison, we wanted again to pair it with a red wine. So we're going to do the Mal Beautiful. It looks like it's pronounced Malbec from Mendoza, year 2018. Very important. Much
Very
better
good
than
year.
the 2019. Not quite as good as the 2017, though. And then for the cocktail, this is going to be an interesting one. This is going to be our Dom Perignon of the Taste of Disney
Because this
Festival.
is like, so you can get this on
You can get this
top
cocktail.
of.
This is an added cost. I believe all their cocktails are added cost to the prefix price. It is the California Grill signature cocktail, which retails, if you sit there and get the full cocktail, $138.
That's insanity.
Right? This is an ultra premium cocktail pairing partners, a tradition. Oh my goodness. Let me start that one over. Let's rewind. This ultra premium cocktail pairing partners a traditional champagne cocktail with Remy Martin Louis VIII, which takes 4 generations of cellar masters to create. So this might be like your $69 drink, like the Dom Perignon, and you're getting like an ounce or two.
Whew. I hope it tastes awful.
I would love to try this. But
I
there's
would
no
too.
way I can imagine
No.
dropping even for the ounce.
Mm-mm.
Like, that's nuts. But somebody's going to do it.
Oh, 100%.
Moving on to one of our favorites, honestly,
Yeah.
and I feel gets overshadowed by all other restaurants on this property and this area is Citricos. We have dined there twice in the past few years. Once was just you and I before we did Mickey's Not So Scary. And we had an absolutely incredible meal. Giovanni was our waiter. He was outstanding. He was nice enough. He brought us an extra appetizer that he overheard us talking about. And then we went with that whole group of friends the one time and sat there and had a bunch of stuff. But what are we starting with? This was obviously my selection.
Yes, and this is your yuzu soy roast duck breast. This is braised duck dumplings, butternut. What is that word?
Tonkotsu.
A soy quail egg and sesame aioli. You've had this, right?
This is different from the duck that I had there. There was not in dumpling form. It was a seared duck sliced. But yes. Yeah. So
quail
they
egg.
changed this up a little bit, but Disney does duck really, really well. They're fine in signature restaurants, and so I would love to do this. What I did have is the entree.
Yes.
Now, this is another one. I am not huge on fish, It's fine. It's just not my preference over chicken, beef, things like
Unless
that.
there's
Poultry
one
or beef, right?
particular fish.
And that is the coriander spiced cobia.
Mm-hmm.
This is avocado, calamansi, vierge, yuca asada, hearts of palm, and pickled Fresno. So this is the one where I would say if you have never had fish or you don't think you like fish, give cobia a try.
Yeah.
And this would be your opportunity. Again, you're not going to go here and drop $45 or whatever this dish is just to try cobia
Right.
based on my recommendation.
Right.
It is firm like a poultry, but it is buttery. It is so buttery and not in like a greasy way.
Yeah.
It is an amazing, amazing fish. First time I ever had it, my buddy Matt actually caught one out here in the Atlantic. We were going out like deep sea fishing, and I never heard it. It's this big, huge, beautiful, dark black fish. And we got back, and our friend that's a boat captain and knows all about fishing, he filleted it up. We cooked it like 4 hours after we caught it, and it was just amazing. So if I go somewhere and they tell me their fish of the day is cobia, I drop everything else, and that's what I get. All right, what do we have for dessert? Which sounds super interesting because the name is a beverage, but this is not.
It is a macchiato. It is Bailey's Irish Cream Liqueur Coffee, Cremex Espresso Veil, Coffee Sponge, Mascarpone Ice Cream, warm Morata Chili, and chocolate sauce.
Hard to say. I bet it's delicious to eat.
Yeah.
That
I
sounds
bet.
really good.
Yeah, it sounds really good. And then, of course, for people that are thinking the liquor in it, it always cooks out whenever, which is so weird to me and neat.
It's crazy.
It is.
Yeah. Just like how that works. All right, for beverages, we do have a non-alcoholic beverage for the kiddos or the ones that don't partake in alcohol. That's an old-fashioned orange soda float. Citricos, Narcoossee's, Grand Floridian, they're all really about Florida. They're all about freshness. A lot of them are about citrus. So I think an orange soda float is perfect. It's a handcrafted orange syrup, house-made seltzer, and vanilla bean ice cream.
Sounds amazing.
What's on your list and your selection for the specialty cocktail here?
They have a gingerbread espresso, Jameson Irish whiskey, St. Elizabeth allspice liquor, a Kahlua liquor, espresso, vanilla, and gingerbread.
This would be a whiskey drink I believe you would like because it has other liqueurs and all in it, and it's got the espresso. I don't think you would notice the whiskey.
I don't know. Jameson is a different whiskey, though.
Yeah, I think it's not as strong. It's not as potent. It's much, yeah. So, and you've had...
I want to try it, though.
You've done Irish coffees? Because that's usually Jameson is in an Irish coffee.
Yeah, but... no, then I haven't, because if anything, I've done Bailey's.
Yeah. Oh, I'm surprised that I can drink Jameson anymore. I had one. There's always everybody has that. Well, everybody has that liquor. Yeah, it was back when Phil and I were playing and hosting open mic at O'Donnell's Pub up in Baltimore, and actually it was the night. So we had been playing here for probably a year or two, and it was on Tuesday nights, and we played enough that they asked us to come host the open mic night. So they would give us a bar tab and food tab, and that was our payment. And this place was always nuts to butts, like slammed. We're 22 years old maybe at the time, and we're just like, man, Tuesday night, this is the spot. It was owned by a former Baltimore County police officer. So one night we're in the middle of the whole thing, and somebody's playing, and he comes up on the mic and stops it and says, hey, just to let you know, I got a heads up from some buddies in the police force. They're on their way here to check that everything's legit. If you're under 21, you need to leave. Everyone but about 5 of us left.
Oh, my goodness.
And we had been playing this place forever. We had no idea. And I should have known because one of the guys there one time, Tina would come out sometimes, and Rob and everybody. And he asked her one time, he was like, so what year are you? And she said, I'm a senior. And he goes, oh, which high school are you at? She was like, I'm in college.
Oh, my goodness.
She didn't tell me this till later, like after this whole thing. But literally, and the place was never the same. But that same night, after the whole place was basically raided, everybody got out in time. And the owner, Phil and I went and sat at the bar, and the owner just kept feeding us Jameson whiskey.
Ew.
And I think at one point he lit some on fire. But yeah, it was one of those nights. All right, for our beer here, we're going to go with the left hand milk stout. And then to pair with that duck, with that cobia is a Heinz Eifel Austerlitz Riesling from 2018. Again, 2018 was like the year, man.
It was.
Next, we're moving on to one of my favorite restaurants on property.
Yes.
Where are we headed to?
Flying Fish.
What food are we going to show for the best representation of flying fish?
Well, we're going to start with your shrimp cocktail. This is Palm Hearts, a Meyer Lemon, and Pomodoro Dorado.
We had their shrimp cocktail, remember, years and years ago.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was not. This was...
No, it was not.
These were tiny shrimp. They were tiny. This was like boathouse style shrimp.
Then I don't remember this one. Then.
We went with John and Michelle. And do you remember the kid had the loud iPad?
I do remember that.
This has probably been 7 years, 7 years. It has been some time. Remember, I did not have a particularly good meal here. Everybody else, you guys loved everything you had.
Well, you got octopus.
I did. I know.
That's why.
So I did not love it here, but of course, when we went back for our anniversary 2 years ago, I still talk about the steak there. I think it's one of the best steaks on property, if not the best that I've personally had. But I know that they've come a long way. They've gone through the renovations. They've gone through chefs. They're killing it there now.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to go back and try the shrimp cocktail. We're going to move on to my pick for the entree, which is the plancha seared scallops. This comes with savory grits, sweet corn, and peppadew emulsion. And this is absolutely delicious. Now, I had the scallop add-on to my steak when we went, but put that with some savory grits and sweet corn and peppadew emulsion.
The savory grits sound really good.
Yeah. I wonder if you could swap out shrimp in this dish and still have the grits and all, and make your own little shrimp and grits. Be interesting.
I've been known to do that.
Yeah. We're in Florida. We're something nice and light and refreshing to pair with these seafoods. What is the best dessert to go with summer and all things hot?
Key lime cake.
Yeah.
This is a coconut lime mousse, guava, and tropical
Coolie.
Mm-hmm. And it is plant-based.
Yeah. We tried to get some plant-based dishes. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but trying for you folks. For beverages, I had this and I absolutely loved it. It's a one and done for the day.
Yeah.
Because it's thick, it's heavy. It is their peanut butter freeze. Now this includes Kahlua liqueur, Bailey's Irish cream liqueur, Bull's creme de banana liqueur, Bull's creme de cocoa dark liqueur, and a peanut butter. And it's just outstanding.
Yeah.
Grown up milkshake.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's awesome.
Bell's Oberon Ale. Pretty standard. They don't have anything too fancy for beers. And again, we're going to go with a white Benton Lane Pinot Gris from William Met Valley, Oregon, year 2012. Ooh. And that's going to pair very well with your scallops and your shrimp cocktail.
Yeah.
Let's move on, which I think I remember it, but it also caught me by surprise because I always forget, even though I know it, I always forget that this is considered a signature dining establishment at Disney. And we're heading into Hollywood Studios. And where are we going? It is one of our favorite places.
It is the Hollywood Brown Derby. And it's so great now because you can sit out the lounge and get the entire Hollywood Brown Derby.
Neither one of us can
menu.
Talk today.
I know.
These menu items will get you very, very tongue-tied. And we always get some sort of...
have a problem.
Well, we always get some sort of review of someone that thinks we should know how to pronounce every last one of these words. But
I did not take an English speaking class.
Well, half the words sometimes aren't even English.
Well, either way, but okay, I did not take a proper class.
Okay, that's fair.
So I don't know how to say things correctly.
Yeah, or fill in
even
holes
English,
or fill in holes to stories,
right.
as we learned.
Uh-huh.
So what are we going with for our appetizer? One of my favorite apps.
The crab Louie.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good. It's sad because I think they changed it.
Oh,
from
that fried crab wonton thing was. It was like a crab cake, a really good crab cake, mind you, wrapped inside of a wonton and deep fried.
It was really good.
I missed that, but this is a really good replacement, I will say.
So this is crispy olive bread, a citrus blend, fried capers, and a Louis sauce. And it is very, very good.
And it's one of those, not only do I think it very well represents the Hollywood Brown Derby, it represents summer.
I sure say refreshing.
Yes,
very refreshing.
Very. So is the next dish. If this did not go on the menu, then what are we even doing here? We might as well just hang up our podcasting hats if we didn't put this. Right?
This is their famous Cobb salad. This is spit roasted turkey, bacon, egg, tomato, blue cheese, avocado, and their classic dressing. And I have had it I would like to try the one at the new summer house.
Yes.
They have a Cobb salad.
Yeah.
But this Cobb salad is, I don't know what they do. I don't know
It's
how they do it.
incredible.
It is the best Cobb salad I've ever had.
Remember the old lobster shortage of 2021? Because you went and remember they
Yes.
used to have. So you can do chicken, you can
Yep.
do shrimp, and they used to have
Yep.
lobster.
Mm-hmm.
This, yet another plug and reason for DisneyFood.guide. We were handed a menu
Mm-hmm.
that had the lobster on the menu,
Correct.
but it had not. It was seriously, I mean, they were taking lobster off the menu at many places.
Mm-hmm.
Lobster Thermidor burger over at
Mhm.
Grand Flow suffered from this. And Rhonda ordered it with the lobster and like, I'm sorry, we no longer have the lobster. If you had done research prior and you looked at DisneyFood.guide, you're going to know that.
And then for a dessert, we have, which we have not tried this yet, but it is a grapefruit cake, a brown derby original. It is a vanilla sponge cake, grapefruit syrup, and cream cheese icing.
It's their signature dessert, so it
And
has
I'm
to
sure
go
it's
on here.
good.
But again, I don't want to pay for a whole cake. Let me
Yeah.
get a taste.
Yep.
At a taste
My
of
mom
Disney Summer
loves
Festival.
grapefruit.
Really, I'm not big on grapefruit in general.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it's hard to eat. It'll always squirt you in the eye. Have you ever watched a cartoon?
You don't eat it that way. You cut it and then you scoop it out with a little spoon.
And somebody should tell Bugs Bunny because.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to the beverages. We're going to go with a Chardonnay to go with our Cobb salad, our Crab Louie. It is a Domaine Serene Evanstad Reserve Chardonnay from Dundee Hills, Crocodile Dundee Hills. Then they have a grapefruit cake martini. So you can celebrate the taste of the grapefruit cake created at the original Hollywood Brown Derby in the 1940s, which is funny that on their menu they say Hollywood Brown Derby because the one in Hollywood is not called the Hollywood Brown Derby. It's called the Brown Derby, I believe, right? And that's why they have to call this one the Hollywood Brown Derby.
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure I'm correct.
Okay.
Our concoction will delight you with Deep Eddy Ruby Red Grapefruit Vodka, Stoli Vanilla Vodka, and a splash of cream with a graham cracker rim. Now
I
that
would-
sounds like a way I would partake in some grapefruit.
I would love
right?
that.
That
Yes.
sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I don't like.
I want to go. Actually, now
You
I
want-
want to get. I want
wanna
to
have that?
go to the lounge, and I want to
get this.
have the grapefruit cake martini,
Yeah,
and I want to eat it.
and get the grapefruit cake.
No, with
Oh.
my Cobb salad.
Oh, with your Cobb salad. All right, we can make that
Yeah.
happen. Next, we're moving on to Chico.
Your
It's been a
favorite.
long time
Just
since we
kidding.
went, and I just wasn't impressed
Yeah.
with the steak that I got.
Yeah.
The service was impeccable. The wines were amazing. Back when we were drinking wine, they made
Yeah.
recommendations. We put something on here that we had that was unbelievable. But again, let's get those tastes of Chico. Let's get those tastes of Animal Kingdom Lodge, and we're going to start with a wild boar tenderloin. This is
Mm.
creamy pap, tomato chakalaka, and herb smoked oil.
Boom chakalaka. That's
Boom
what
chakalaka.
I think of.
NBA Jam.
Yeah,
that was boom shakalaka, not chakalaka.
same thing.
It is. It's pretty much the
Just
same.
kidding.
Shaka Khan.
Okay. Anyways, moving on to the wild boar. That is something else that, again, just like your venison,
Mhm.
you're like, boar? What?
Yeah.
But then you're like, I want to taste it.
Right.
And you can.
I
So
really love this idea.
I
To
do
be honest,
too.
I think it's a great idea. Next, we're going to move on to the Moroccan spiced lamb shank,
Mm.
apricot glazed lamb. See, they have apricot gazed instead of glazed.
Mm.
You know who's not going to do that? Disney Food. That guy. They've got lamb on root vegetable mash, a confit squash, and a cranberry date relish. You love yourself some lamb shank.
Yeah,
And
I
if
do.
you remember,
It's
when
very
we
good.
went to Morocco,
Yeah.
to the pavilion,
Yes.
I haven't left the country. My goodness, what was the place? What is that? What was that restaurant called? Just
Marrakesh?
Marrakesh. Yes, good job. I completely.
Oh,
You had the Moroccan lamb shank there
it was fantastic.
and loved it.
Yes. And in Australia, they have a lamb shake.
Mhm.
And I say in Australia
Well,
for the
they've
food
got the
booth.
chop. That's a chop though.
Okay.
That's not a shank.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's
Lamb.
but again, it's one of
Still
those like
lamb.
if you have not had lamb,
Right.
this is a way to try it. It is so
Absolutely.
tender and delicious and flavorful. Like it will
Mhm.
make you a lamb fan. All right. Next, this is the enhancement that we got when we ate at Chico, and it is the boba Thai mac and cheese. It is 4 cheese, spiced beef, almonds, raisins, kamchubari, and red wine reduction, and it was
So good.
fabulous.
Yes.
It came in a little cast iron, like ramekin type thing. Cheesy, delicious, so dang good.
Very good.
Now, this is one that, yes, it's cool to get a taste of it, and maybe it drives you to Chico, but if you're at Chico, you're going to be like, I'm getting mac and cheese. Like that, that's not one you're as worried about.
Yeah.
And then they have a milk tart. It sounds like something you would call someone if you didn't like them.
Okay.
Quit being such a milk tart.
This is an African milk custard tart seasoned with cinnamon and cardamom, accompanied by fresh fruit.
That sounds very good.
It does.
You guys have those
It
flavors
sounds
of Africa.
interesting.
Yeah.
It sounds like, again, I would like to try this. Like, where, as if I sat down, do I really want this whole thing? Because
Right.
what if I don't like it?
Yeah.
So.
Yep. You can get a taste.
Mm-hmm.
You're non-alcoholic, you can get a Thunderbolt Darjeeling tea. It is from the land of the Thunderbolts, the champagne of black teas.
Ooh. Is
Much
that like the
Miller High
champagne?
Life, the champagne of beers.
That's
We used to
what
get
I
a
was
30-pack for $9.99.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I think it was $9.99. You get a 30
30
pack.
pack of
Yeah.
beers for $10.
Yeah, last year the weekend, and it was literally a 30-pack. 15. It was a big giant cube, and when I lived in my first apartment, that's what I would buy every Friday to get through the weekend. Then this sounds right up your alley, a Zebratini.
Yes.
Captain Morgan original spiced rum, Mozart white chocolate liqueur, Frangelico liqueur. Oh, I love that. A Marlua liqueur, and a shot of espresso in a chocolate zebra striped martini glass.
Yes,
I'm not going
please.
to tell any stories about Frangelico, but I do have some.
Oh,
This
Lord.
sounds so perfect for you.
Yeah, it does. Sounds amazing. I would
Yeah.
like some, please.
I would like this, and it's so perfect because
Can we go and just sit at the bar and get this?
Well, they have the zebra domes at
Yes.
Animal Kingdom Lodge that
They
they're
do.
they're known for. That you can actually go into the market area and you can get those to go, like a 4-pack,
Yeah.
and they're absolutely delicious. And now they're turning that into a martini,
Nice.
and you're getting that flavor. All right, next we're going to move on to Le Cellier, and so here's the thing: the cheddar cheese soup is at Food and Wine.
Yep.
And the filet mignon is at Food and Wine.
Yep.
We did not just want to mimic those, since you can
Correct.
already get them at the festival that's going to follow our festival.
Correct.
So for appetizer, we're going to go with their prime beef tartare. This is kebe nai, a radish, mint, garlic aioli, and toasted bread.
This is stuff you like.
Yes,
Not
I'm
me.
cool with beef tartare, and I love it. I don't know if they still have it at Tambu. Remember they have it at Tambu, and it's just the thinnest sliced raw beef, and it's absolutely amazing. I love it.
Good for you.
Yeah, it is good for me. So since we're not doing a steak,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to get some pork involved, and we're going to do their dry-aged pork chop.
Mm-hmm.
This comes with, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
A goat cheese polenta,
Yes.
smoked tomato jam, citrus butter, and pea tendrils.
Mm.
Everything about that, except
Sounds
for pea
great.
tendrils, because I don't know what they are, sounds good.
They're little peas that they make into tendrils.
Okay. What?
Yeah. It like they're tiny little peas, and then they like put it on this tiny little thing,
You have no
That
idea what you're talking
turns
about.
it to make it a tendril.
What's a tendril?
Like a hair tendril, like my little
It
curl.
is? Oh, well, here's what they look like. It's
Let me
like a
see.
pea leaf. No, it's more like it's a microgreen, and they look like.
I was totally making that crap.
I know you
up.
were. Are you saying? But tendril is not a real word that you know.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is.
A
That's what you would do
tendril
with your
is a curl, like a. Usually, it's like a.
So you're telling me somebody comes into your salon and says, "I would like my hair tendrilled."
No, but okay.
All right. Then we're going to get a true steakhouse side. And you're going to be able to get their Canadian cheddar creamed spinach.
Mm,
That sounds delicious. I like a good creamed
Mhm.
spinach. And that is a staple of steakhouses. All
absolutely.
right. For dessert,
Which we did have.
you did. Yeah. And this is another
Um,
one. If this is on the dessert menu, Rhonda's getting it.
So good.
Along with bread pudding.
Yes. This is a maple cream brulee. And this is chantilly, gooseberries, and a Toulouse, whatever that word is.
This was so good.
It really was. And it had a little maple shortbread cookie on it.
Yeah.
And this was fantastic. It was great. Great creme brulee, great smooth and very tasty.
Yeah.
Very tasty.
Perfect for our menu here. For beverages, because we're going with that pork chop, the beef, we're going to do a Frank family Cabernet from Napa Valley. Then for their draft beer here, you're going to do a La Fin du Monde, which is a triple style golden ale, has a mildly hoppy palate with notes of grains, fruit and spice, followed by a smooth, dry finish. It's a perfect balance of sugar, acidity, bitterness, spices, and alcohol. That sounds very good.
It does.
And then a Canadian coffee. I know it's 117 degrees outside during the summer.
It could be a cold coffee, though.
That would be really cool if they did this as an iced coffee. It comes with brown jug bourbon cream. Next, we're moving on to a Monsieur Paul. This was another very interesting one because of the prefix menu. This was surprisingly,
we ate here before,
this was our prior to the prefix menu. We ate here.
And
it was our worst dining experience we've ever had at Disney. And that's not Jeremy being Jeremy. It's
really not. I tried it. We actually sent something back.
Yeah.
Which is never what we've done
not
before.
And then even when it came back, it was not good.
But you ate it. It was.
I did. This was bad.
Wasn't. Well, when it came back, it was a lot better.
But still not what it should have been. It was
you
steak.
ate
It was
the
not cooked
whole
properly.
thing.
Like it just.
I
And
guess because you were hungry.
But to be fair to Disney, we got basically testimonials from tons of friends and listeners that had been there and absolutely loved it.
Yes.
So we were there, whether it was an off night, it was just whatever
100%.
happened. We had planned to get back, but now I think it's like 195 a person. I don't know when we'll make it back.
And we will after we let go of our
Sign up
annual
another
passes.
one. Thank you, Universal. All right, so we're going to start because we have to. We're in France with the escargot with watercress and potato emulsion. I have had the escargot down in Chef de France, and it was quite tasty.
Good for you.
Then we're going to move on to sea bass and puff pastry, sauce Chiron, and Monsieur Paul style.
That sounds better.
Yeah.
I would try that.
Yeah. I just would spend the whole time quoting Dumb and Dumber and sea bass. So,
Kick his butt,
yeah.
sea bass.
Then we're going to move on to a center cut beef tenderloin grilled, porcini fricassee, mashed potatoes, a mousseline, and a bordella sauce.
That sounds very good.
That sounds actually very, very good. That was similar to what I got when I went. It just wasn't done properly at the time.
Okay.
We're going to finish off here with a chocolate almond cake, chocolate cream, hazelnut biscuit, chocolate ice cream, warm chocolate cognac sauce. That sounds outstanding.
It does.
Too. So I do want to go back. We'll figure it out. And then for the beverage, there's going to be an amuse bouche of served with Monsieur Paul's cocktail. They don't really have a cocktail menu that I could find online, so we just went with what's part of the prefixed meal. Hope you enjoy. Where are we going next? What are we having?
We are going to Morimoto. Woo-hoo.
Guaranteed to be one of the most popular booths at our festival.
Yes, probably. First, you could get a spider roll, which is a tempura soft shell crab, spicy mayo, cucumber, and asparagus.
They're known for sushi. We got to put sushi on here. And
that is very good.
Sushi and summer, to me, go together very, very well.
We have to put on the Morimoto spare ribs. You can get these for a half rack of 6 ribs, and this is pork ribs, cilantro, hoisin, sweet chili glaze. This would
probably be a rib or two. You get 3.
They had them on a appetizer.
Yeah,
we didn't see
you used to be able to get 3 of them.
Been in a long time.
Yeah,
but these, if you can't get them on the appetizer, get the half rack. It is so
or
good.
Go out to Morimoto Street Food, which I believe they're still doing them there, and you can get the 3. Good. I think it's like $18 for the 3 of them.
It's still good.
Yeah, it is. But this is one where you could maybe do 2 ribs at 11,
isn't
12
the 6 ribs like 30 something bucks?
I think so. Yeah.
So if you get 3 for 18, that's just half price.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Then we're gonna move on to because again, this is one that serves 2, and it is normally the whole duck, the whole Morimoto Peking duck. And I want to do this one time really bad there. But again, dropping the money and the amount that this costs is tough. So to get a taste of it would be outstanding. It's carved house roasted duck served with steamed flour tortillas, an apricot sweet chili, hoisin miso, and choice of steamed white or brown rice.
That does sound really good.
Would you go to Morimoto with me
No.
and get this.
No.
All right. Thanks again, Universal. We're putting these on the list. I'm going to start writing all these down month after month. We're just going to places that cost $300 or less per meal. Is
Lord
what we're
of
doing now.
mercy.
And then what are we going to do for dessert? We got to go with a mochi mochi.
Yes.
This is onion tofu, coconut mango soup, fruit boba, frozen mango, and a lemon yogurt powder.
Yeah. I mean, we love mochi. We get
Yeah.
it all the time. Well, we used to. All the time.
Yeah, up at Publix. Yeah,
Mhm.
the freezer section.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's
really
got a
good.
weird texture and consistency, but I
love
actually
that,
enjoy
But
it.
I love that weird
Yeah,
texture and consistency.
I shockingly do too.
Yeah.
For beverages, we're going to do a non-alcoholic yuzu soda.
Kaylin loves those.
She does.
Mhm.
Yeah, she really does. Then we're going to go with a Morimoto Chardonnay because it's got his name in it, so we had to do it, from California, as well as a Chef Morimoto's shochu sake.
Mm.
I like sake,
Mhm.
so I would get this.
Yeah.
What drink
I don't know
cocktail
how
is
to
going
say
on
it,
here? Just call it by its
But
American name.
in the parentheses, it is a white lily, and this is Hanger 1 Meerkat Lime. If that, I don't even know if that's
Hanger 1, macaroon lime, calpico, and yuzu served with a twist.
There you go.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's such a refreshing cocktail.
And you probably shouldn't drink two, but if
Mhm.
you do, woo, look out.
It's easily drinkable. We'll say that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how good it is. Like,
Yeah.
it's one of those, like, you'd be hard pressed to get this to last through your meal
Oh, 100%.
because it's just that
so good.
good. And
Yeah.
again, it just screams summer
Yeah, it
to me.
does.
We're going to move on to what has become one of our favorite places lately. We
Yay.
dined there for our anniversary last year. We've hit up the bar to see Sergio twice since then, and this is Narcoossee's.
Mm-hmm.
We have quite a few food items at this booth, and for
Mhm.
good reason.
Yes, because we've had them all
Yeah.
almost.
What is the first one? We actually have had all of these items.
You had the redfish?
You did.
Mm.
At our anniversary. What is item number one, though? What are we going from
the
our...
shrimp and grits.
Yeah.
This is local Gulf shrimp, barbecue sauce, low country grits, applewood smoked bacon, and chow chow.
Don't think of this barbecue sauce like you're just walking into
That's
Publix
true.
and you're picking up a Sweet Baby Ray's. This
Yeah.
is much more of like a house-made tomatoey
Mm.
like sauce. Like I don't even know that it deserves the word barbecue in it. And this is actually an appetizer of theirs.
Mhm.
So this is very
Really
easily doable as a small dish for a festival.
Yep.
From there, we got to do the lobster bisque.
Oh.
I know it's hot out, and even if they did it where they're serving it in front of you, and the cast member is taking in front of you, they're taking a very small portion bowl, and you see that piece of chilled lobster in the middle, and then they're breaking out the big pitcher basically with the lobster bisque, the hot lobster bisque, and pouring it right in front of you and handing it over to you the same way that they do it in the restaurant would be so good. We went with the blackened redfish here because it is one that they're very well known for. And this is a chorizo sunchoke hash, southern sweet corn hominy, and red pepper roulis.
Oh, no, I remember it.
Yeah, it is very
That's right.
good.
It is. And it's not fishy.
No,
It's,
not
I
at
think
all.
of redfish and I don't think of,
Snapper immediately comes to mind for me.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not a
think
big
of
fan
fishing,
of snapper. Yeah,
but Chris
This is
told
so
us this
good.
was really good. So I got it. That's right. And the hash was really good. It was
Mhm.
really good altogether.
it's
I
a
do remember
it's a
now.
great dish. From there, you're going to get a side of Rhonda's favorite thing.
Oh my God.
Now they do have this currently right now in Canada at Festival
They
of the
do.
Arts.
And I had some the other day.
Yeah,
It was
but
very good.
This one I think
This
blows that
one's-
one out of the water, and it's
yeah.
the wild mushroom risotto with
Yeah.
fontina and esplite pepper.
Yeah.
This is good hot. This is good cold the
Oh,
next
it's
morning
actually
when you
good
don't
cold.
have a fork and you eat it with your hands, handing over the dresser. Rhonda would know. And then finally, we're going to go with their signature dessert that there would have been a mutiny if they had not brought it back after they refurbed here and changed the menu. And that is the almond crusted cheesecake with the Lambert cherry sauce and chantilly.
And this is great.
Yeah. And this is another one, like, it just screams summertime.
Mhm.
It is super refreshing. It has, the almond flavor in it is so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I love this dessert. For beverages, it is summertime. We're going with the Three Daughters Brewing Beach Blonde Ale. They do have a non-alcoholic beverage in the Pink London Spritzer. It's Lyre's Pink London Spirit, which is basically like a non-alcoholic liqueur.
Mhm.
I mean, really. It's got grapefruit soda, pomegranate, green tea, lime, and mint.
Mhm.
Then our signature cocktail, created by the man, the myth, the legend himself, our friend Chris, is the Smoked Dark and Stormy. This is Gosling's Black Seal Rum, charred pineapple syrup, Carpano Antica Formula Sweet Vermouth, Smoked Chili Bitters, and Fever Tree Ginger Beer, and it is fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
We're heading back to Disney Springs. We're gonna look at some more seafood here because we are headed to our paddlefish booth at A Taste of Disney. What are we going for first? Which we've not had this version, but I have had on the rooftop.
Mm-hmm.
They have an awesome bar.
Yes.
That's where you can get the crab fries,
yes.
which are outstanding.
Yes.
And they also have a crab cake, which is actually very good,
Mm-hmm.
coming from this Maryland boy. What do they have on their main menu, and what is the version that's going to be at our booth?
A crab cake, which is crispy
Churro.
mm-hmm. Shishitos and the sweet chili aioli.
Yeah. Summer.
Yeah.
Summer,
Super
summer,
good.
summer.
Super good.
And then if you're going to eat pasta during the summer, it might as well be shrimp pasta.
Yeah.
Linguine, Florida rock shrimp, asparagus, talk about fresh,
Mhm.
tomato, and crab broth.
Yeah, that sounds good.
When I go to Publix, I'm going to see if they have crab broth.
Are you being serious right
Yeah, because they make, you can go in the box section and the can section where you've got vegetable and you've got chicken and beef and all of those. I would love to see a
Do you think
seafood
they really
crab
do?
lobster broth. Like, I'm not sure what I would do with it yet. I might just take shots of it.
now? Ew.
I'll put a little, if only they had Old Bay vodka. Old Bay vodka. Would you drink an Old Bay vodka crab broth martini
No, I'd put that in a friggin' tomato.
in a Bloody Mary?
Yeah, not Bloody Mary.
Okay. So that's what we're doing. And then for our dessert, we're going to go with key lime pie.
Yeah.
I know we had another key lime dessert earlier, but they're doing it a little bit different.
That was a key lime
Cake. That's right. So
is
this
key
one,
lime pie.
yeah, this is like straight up pie. Screams Florida. It screams summer. It's graham cracker crust and torched meringue. For beverages, you can get a non-alcoholic strawberry basil lemonade. This includes fresh strawberries, basil, lemonade, and Sprite. There is zero way that could not be absolutely delicious.
Oh, yeah. Sounds amazing.
Next, we're going to go with the drink that they named after me.
Captain Handsome.
Yes.
Okay.
This is how I would like to start being referred to as, is Captain Handsome.
And they have a cat head vodka.
Yeah.
You want a cat head?
Yeah.
I'm
Cat
gonna,
head vodka.
I'm gonna put
Don't you
Bucky's head.
dare. How dare you?
Fresh raspberries, framboise, thyme, house sour.
That's it. You're done.
Time
You're done
House
reading. The Time House Sour. That sounds super refreshing as well.
Uh-huh.
We need to do a sit-down meal at Paddlefish.
Write it on your list.
All right, next they have a house-made red or white sangria. Assorted premium fruity liquors, juices, white or red wine, seltzer, and seasonal fruit. And then we're going to wrap it up with your beer, the Sailfish Tag and Release Amber Ale.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, folks, you only have to put up with us a little bit longer trying to read menu items.
Sorry.
We're going to move over just really right down the road here at Disney Springs to STK
Oh, yeah.
Steakhouse.
We've eaten here before.
We have. We've done lunch here, and we've
Mhm.
done some of the appetizers. They have a really good happy hour.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best at Disney Springs and one of the best on property. That includes small bites, appetizers, and all.
Mhm.
Very, very good. We're going to start with the burrata. This is marinated beetroot, pickled red onions, basil oil, and crunchy sourdough.
Mm.
I love
Burrata's
burrata.
so
Love a good
good.
burrata, and that sounds outstanding.
Yeah.
Maybe not the beetroot, but that'd be up Lucy's
Lucy.
alley. She
mhm.
loves beets. Next, we're going to go with, and this will probably be our most expensive dish,
Mhm.
the surf and turf, filet and lobster tail. So
Yeah,
I
but
could
you're
see this
talking-
being half of a lobster tail, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, a 4-ounce filet, but this
Mhm.
is probably going to cost you like $25 or something maybe for a festival food. I'm pretty sure it'd be worth it though.
Probably.
I would buy this
Because I
one.
think this particular one on STK, the price is $89.
Is it that much? That's what you saw? Whoo-wee.
Pretty sure.
Can we split it? Wouldn't be enough food probably, but here, you get a taste.
Maybe.
You get a taste of it, and then
There
maybe
you
you go
go.
drop that 89 because that's how good it
There
is.
you go.
Another staple for sides
Mm.
at steakhouses.
And we love
Yeah.
these every time. And these are crispy Brussels sprouts. This is bacon and cider glaze. And
Mm.
I feel like, we have not had these actual ones from here.
But we've had the same thing somewhere else.
Yeah, and it's fantastic.
The cider glaze gives a nice little sweetness to it. And
So good.
like it's neat that like Brussels sprouts are finally getting their due. You know, I think like growing up, did you eat Brussels sprouts growing up? I mean, my parents wouldn't eat them, but I could see it being one of those. But it's one of those things where I think growing up, like if people were fed them, they probably like steamed them, you know, and like. But man, when you get a good crispy Brussels sprouts, and now they're coming with all these things like bacon and cider glaze.
Right.
We do them in the oven all the time with chopped bacon, and sometimes I like them really with the balsamic glaze on it. And we make Brussels sprouts at home once or twice a month. But Lacey, as I'm prepping them, because I'll toss them in oil, salt, pepper, garlic, onion.
I like
Lacey will come and eat them raw, just like that.
100%.
And they're super duper good. Then I thought this was interesting. We've not had this dessert, but they have a bag o' donuts.
Yeah.
Cinnamon sugar, dulce de leche, spiced chocolate, and a raspberry. So 4 little donuts. That sounds outstanding too.
I want to get these.
And I know we said they have a great happy hour. They also actually have a really good lunch specials. Like STK, I feel like is severely underrated based on some of their prices and some of their deals, because it's real easy to go look at dinner and see this $90 surf and turf and just be turned off by going there. You know what I mean?
Right.
But go there for lunch, go there for happy hour. Beverages, this sounds amazing. They have an award-winning spiced watermelon, Patron Silver Tequila, Saint Germain, watermelon puree, fresh lime with jalapeno.
That sounds amazing, actually.
Watermelon and jalapeno. You like a jalapeno. Yeah, you like a jalapeno margarita.
Oh, yeah.
And then for your beer, you're getting a mango cart because mangoes, Florida, summer.
Sure.
All right, next we're going to Takumite, which you can go to at $150 to $250 a person for an entire chef's menu. And we picked out what we thought might be some of the best things to try. But again, if you're talking about driving people somewhere, most people are not going to drop $150 to $250 with zero ideas of the actual flavors. You can read reviews, and that's great, and you can get opinions, and that's great. But that is a lot of money to drop without getting to taste it first. So we're going to start with the agamano, which is a lobster tempura served with creamy ponzu sauce and matcha salt.
That sounds good.
Yeah, very good. From there, we're going to move to the entree portion, which is the yakimono. It's your choice, or I'm sorry, you get a 3-ounce Japanese A5 Wagyu steak, curry roasted potatoes, roasted seasonal mushrooms.
I hope his nose isn't printed on it.
I don't need to find where that certificate is.
That's so sad.
Still want to get that framed. Then we're going to end with the dessert, Ocho Tokonami, which is strawberry yuzu sorbet served over plant-based shiso jelly. That sounds pretty good.
She's so jelly.
She said it was so good. For beverages, you can get a non-alcoholic ginger mimosa. This is orange juice, falernum, and ginger ale.
I bet that's
ginger
good.
ale and orange juice. That sounds like an interesting combination. But that's a great non-alcoholic mimosa. You're still getting the bubbly and but not having to use prosecco. Then they've got a plum liqueur, Mito no Kariaki, in ultra premium. It's 5-year. It's from Japan. And you get a Koshihiraki rice beer. All right, guys, we've got 2 more to go. One of our favorite places on property and probably in the world that we've dined at, Topolino's Terrace, is our next food booth for a taste of Disney.
Is good, though.
And I don't think anybody's going to be surprised at these 3 picks. I will let Rhonda go through them.
Yes. So we are getting the ricotta, which is tomato, aged balsamic, cracked pepper, basil, and the epi, which is your bread to eat the ricotta, homemade ricotta with.
Goodness.
This thing is so good. I make ricotta and I don't know what they do. I would like to ask the chef, what do you do? And can you show me?
I guarantee it's
so good.
I guarantee it's the individual quality of the ingredients. It's not going and buying Publix heavy cream and Publix milk and your extra virgin olive oil that's found everywhere. I mean, we know that they import their olive oils from France and Italy and places like that.
I'm going to import some from Italy.
Let's do it. Let's do it. But it wouldn't surprise me if they're getting some of their dairy. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if all of that's coming. And that's what makes it so freaking good.
So good.
Then the next dish. Rhonda invented this by walking and eating this outside of Topolino's. So therefore, we know that it transports very well and can be eaten while walking.
Man. It was the rigatoni.
Yeah. Oh my
This is braised
goodness.
chicken, broccolini, pancetta, wild mushrooms, and black truffle. and it is fantastic.
It is.
good to eat there. It is good to eat on the go.
Yeah.
It is good
You can
to
go to the
get it
bar.
and go. Yeah.
Yep. You can go to the bar and get this. You don't have to have a reservation.
And that's what we did.
And that's what we did. And oh my goodness, it's so good. And then they have a vanilla and citrus creme brulee with Morello cherry compote, strawberry foam, sugared beignets, and chocolate meringues.
It's so good.
Yeah. So,
This is so
I mean, I
good.
think those 3 dishes too, they represent Topolino's so perfectly.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you got your ricotta and your handmade pastas,
Mhm.
a creme brulee, like it's absolutely perfect. You can get your non-alcoholic peche repose, peach, mint, lemon, and soda water. That sounds delightful.
Yeah,
that
it
sounds
does.
refreshing.
Does.
They are well known for their signature cocktail, the Topolino Tremonto. This is Stoli vodka, Caravella limoncello, Aperol, lemon, agave, and butterfly pea flower tea. You love
And
this drink, don't you?
you can get also at Bariva, correct?
Yeah, it's just called the Tremonto down there.
That's right.
And there might be a small change to it. We'd have to go back and check. You can
But
get.
this is great. We
it was
had
so
it
good.
so good.
So I know I'm like broken record, but summer. That's
Mhm.
what this is all about. And it's still what I wish they would gear. That's the problem sometimes with food and wine. I wish if food and wine is going to continue to run as long as it does, I wish they would split it in half
Yeah.
and have the first half be much more geared towards summer and summer flavors and the second half towards those fall and winter. Like as good as it is, the cheddar soup and the filet mignon from Canada isn't the best in the middle of August.
That's right.
It's a bit much. We're going to do Kurt Russell's Goldie Chardonnay from Rita Hills, USA.
That's cool.
Because why not? Let's get Kurt Russell involved.
Yeah.
He's Disney. And then a Domaine Dupont Bouche Brut hard cider from France.
Nice.
You got to represent French Riviera.
There you go.
We are on to our last one, and this is at Yachtsman. I will say Rhonda has not dined at Yachtsman.
Nope. You
I
have.
I did.
This is where you got the steak, right?
This out of all the steaks I've had at the high end places on property, this was my least favorite.
Oh.
The sides and everything were
wow.
outstanding. The atmosphere is wonderful. I want to go back for steak. So I like to get I'm going to get medium rare.
Mm-hmm.
I know that means it has a very pink center, but usually that pink center is still warm. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
still has warmth to it.
Yeah.
The one I had here was cold.
Oh.
So you went from a very good seared outside, but as you bit in, it went from warm to not even room temperature, but cool. And I don't know, there was just something about it just was a little off-putting to me. And it was almost rare,
I just sure say makes it.
but it was a medium
makes
rare.
Your brain starts working, and
I
then
know.
you kind of start thinking
I know.
it's raw if it's
Yeah.
cold.
I know. But
But
I
you
just
like raw beef.
But the sides, they have a bone marrow there that I did not see on the menu currently, so I don't know if it's there or
they
not.
have
But
that in Canada right
they
now.
do. So we didn't even want to do that anyway. But we're going to start with another beef, basically tartare dish, the beef carpaccio, which is truffle aioli, Parmesan fried capers, grilled artichoke, and smoked sea salt. I don't consider myself someone that likes capers normally, but capers and that saltiness and brininess pair so well with raw beef.
Yeah.
I will say that. We are going to go ahead, though, and do the filet mignon.
Okay.
And they're going to cook it perfectly, and it's going to be warm throughout and delicious. This is going to come with mashed potatoes and a bordelaise sauce.
Okay.
But for a little upcharge, which is not known at festivals, we're bringing it. It's new. You can get it Oscar style with crab, asparagus, and béarnaise.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. Then we're going to go with their truffle mac and cheese, which is fabulous. I had their mac and cheese when we were there. Their sides really were unbelievable.
That
And for
sounds
dessert,
fabulous.
My favorite is carrot cake.
Yes.
So we're going to do a carrot cake, cream cheese icing, candied blueberries, lemon, and a carrot gelee.
Mm.
To pair nicely with this, summer with Florida, we're going with the Orange Blossom Pilsner from Orlando, Florida. One of my favorite beers that I ever used to have. And then, because Chuck Frazier is going to be with me when we go to this festival, they have a bourbon flight we're going to do. This comes with Larceny, I've not had. Angel's Envy, I have had with Chuck, and a Woodford Reserve, which I'm positive I've had with Chuck as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to get a little, maybe half-ounce pour or something of each, just say, for a good price, and you can try all three. I believe that would give us our first ever bourbon flight at a festival, I think.
Ooh. Fancy.
Folks, there you have it.
There's our fake, let us put a disclaimer. This is not real.
Yet.
Even though it would be amazing.
It is I love the idea.
I do too.
I really, really do. And it's basically, I mean, it's like I said, it's one big marketing festival for Disney's restaurants.
100%.
And you could even treat it like the artists for Festival of the Arts booths or Party for the Senses, where the chefs come out. You know, at some point, and it's probably advertised, Chef Morimoto is there. You know what I mean?
Amazing.
Now that one would be tough because he's so well known. But you know, there could be times that the chefs from these restaurants. Remember, a lot of these restaurants are only open for dinner service.
True.
So during the day, it could be very possible that the chefs are out there and they're chatting with you. They're, you know, telling you about the menu items. They're cooking them right in front of you. Like I think it's such a great idea.
It is.
Well done, Rhonda.
I'm sure.
I laid in bed at like 3 the other morning and I was like, a taste of Disney. And I just started thinking about it.
Nice.
And then we came together with this and went through and handpicked everything. So I know this was a lengthy one. I apologize because now you guys over the past 2 episodes have had to listen to me for over 3.5 hours because last episode, which will be last Friday now with Greg Gately from the Fun Addicts and the Live Podcast Show. If you have not listened to it, go back and listen to it. It is unbelievable. It's a long episode. It's almost 2 hours, but it is just chock full of incredible information and nuggets. And Greg shares his story. It gets deep. It gets emotional. Kevin the Bear shows up from Magic Kingdom, which was nice. But yeah, go listen to it. And, you know, if you're getting ready to get on that flight down to Disney, it's perfect for that. And you're going to really, really enjoy it. And super excited to kick that series back off. Glad to have you back on today,
Thanks.
Rhonda.
Thanks.
I don't even know what the next episode entails, but next week we will be back at Disney for more Festival of the Arts. We're staying a night at Beach Club with Chuck and Amy. We're then moving over to Coronado Springs for an evening. Super excited to see what we get into and see what we do. So stay tuned for a review of all that. You can go ahead and check out our Patreon group and get these live streams, the Anyone Can Cook, things like that. If you go to wonderlandcrew.com. And then, of course, we want you to subscribe so you can get these brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And both Rhonda and I would be just so very thankful if you could please leave us a rating and review.
Because it'll help our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Oh, God. That means I can't touch anything.
What are you planning on touching?
If I have to scratch myself or...
That's going in the bloopers.
Okay, go to sleep. Well, don't shut it all the way because that's a stupid cat.
That looks better.
You look better.
Thank you. Oh,
Look,
there he
see?
is. There's Bucky Barnes.
Stupid cat.
My best friend.
Stupid cat. Stupid. He's f***ing around with freaking poor Taco. Come here, Taco.
Taco messes with
No,
him.
he was just laying there.
Were you just laying there, buddy? Come here, I got you.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.